Finally, there is some good news. These are staples in all of our fridges. A lot of people love eggs. Many of us have them. And finally, I have some good news for you. The USDA says wholesale egg prices dropped for the third straight week, and it's a pretty big drop. The average wholesale price nationwide fell to $4.15 per dozen. So let's put that in perspective. That is down about $2.70 in just 1 week. Prices were over $8 at the end of last month. So part of the reason for the steep drop is people were put off by those high prices, so demand is lower. The other reasons, experts say, are because bird flu outbreaks have decreased. And get this, Easter is really late this year, so demand isn't that high right now. However, USDA also says declines haven't been reflected at store shelves yet, so you still may see those higher prices. But experts say consumers should start to see those prices drop by the time Easter finally rolls around, just in time.
Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl once again on this channel. So all credits goes to the creators in this video. Y'all are amazing. So my US people, are egg prices really down? How much are eggs in your area right now? Because so many videos going on the internet saying egg prices are down. Let me know. Let's get into these videos and see what people have to say.
Yesterday, and this is what I saw. And having this article come out saying that people are trying to smuggle eggs from Mexico to the US doesn't surprise me at all. And with eggs being around $6 a dozen, that's honestly just insane. Looking at the prices of eggs in Mexico, it looks like a dozen eggs costs around $2. So it makes sense why there's an uptick of 36% of why people are trying to smuggle eggs back into the US. And I know this flu doesn't help, and it's going to be a long time till egg prices actually drop. But this has led to a lot of Americans trying to stockpile on eggs, and even Waffle House is adding a surcharge for eggs. So what the U.S. government is trying to do is they said they're going to try and allocate around $1 billion to stopping this price manipulation. And meanwhile, the people who are trying to smuggle the eggs back into the U.S., obviously, I didn't even know it was illegal, but I guess it's illegal, and you could either face a fine or just confiscation of the eggs, and people are going to now have to destroy them.
Egg prices are down. They're actually lower than they have been since before Trump took office. What are the liberals going to complain about now? They have nothing to say about egg prices anymore. That's all the comments I'd receive. How come eggs aren't cheaper yet? How come they haven't gotten lower in price? Well, they have. Because stuff takes time. Interest rates are lower. Gas prices are lower. It's almost like things can't take immediate effect on day one. And so far, Trump has done more in his first month and a half in office than Biden did in all 4 years. Shocker, isn't it? You don't have to like Trump to at least say, yeah, he's actually doing this and it's benefiting the economy. It's benefiting the American people. You can say that and still not like the man, but you can give credit where credit.
What is happening in Denmark and some other countries in Europe right now? Because after weeks of saying Europe is weak, we don't need Europe, Europe is this, Europe is that, we are so much better than Europe. Guess who has now come crawling back to Europe to ask for eggs? In case you didn't know, because of a bird flu outbreak, there has been an egg shortage in the US, and it has been an issue for months now. We have seen people post videos of like a carton of eggs being like $30 or something. And for a specific current president, that was like his whole thing. As soon as I'm president, eggs are going to be super cheap again. Well, that didn't really happen. The prices still kept going up. That same guy is trying to break all ties with Europe, is trying to destroy the economic bond between Europe and the USA, more specifically between the EU and the US, and also has all of these terrorism plans that are going to hurt the people in the US more than anybody else. Now, why is Denmark so special? Ever since he became president, he had said 3 things. He's going to take over Canada, he's going to take over the Panama Canal, and he's going to take over Greenland. Even though the population of Greenland would like to be independent, currently they're part of Danish territory. And the US has been doing everything they can to make people believe that, the people from Greenland actually want to be American. No, they actually just want to be independent, but because, Russia, China, and the US has an interest in them, they're stuck, with Denmark right now. And because of that, Donald Trump has been talking BS about Denmark for quite some time now. But now he's getting desperate expert because his population needs eggs. So now, hoping that nobody in his country actually really talks about it or finds out, a lot of big media outlets are not reporting on this, he turned to European countries because he needs them. Who would have thought? He now wants Europe to export eggs into the US. This request comes from the US Department of Agriculture, and also at the same time as Donald Trump is, threatening Denmark with sanctions because they don't want to hand over Greenland. Currently, Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, but there is the fear that the US is just going to annex it at some point. And even though on his first day as president, he promised everybody, lower egg prices, but in February of 2025, the prices increased 59% on a year-on-year basis. So now a representative of the US Department of Agriculture in Europe had sent formal inquiries to egg-producing countries in late February, seeking information on their ability and willingness to export eggs to the American market. We're still waiting to get more guidance from Washington on next steps, but do you have an estimate on the number of eggs that could be supplied to the US? A follow-up letter to the Danish Egg Association in early March said. So in front of everybody, he's talking BS about Europe again and again and again. He's talking BS about Denmark, and that is what all the media outlets are going to cover, but behind closed doors, he's begging Europe. Now, the association had requested more details on the conditions of such an agreement, highlighting that egg exports to the US were challenging due to regulations related to hygiene and other factors. Turkey said that in February it started exporting about 15,000 tons of eggs to the US. Other countries that have received a request like this are Finland, the Netherlands, and Sweden. And according to German authorities, a very small number of eggs are already being exported into the US. Seems like somebody needs Europe after all. Maybe it is not the smartest decision ever to make enemies out of the people that used to be our allies for decades. But I doubt that this is going to change anything. He's still going to do whatever he wants. He's going to destroy all economic ties he has to his allies, so he can look like the big independent man in front of his following. But as I said, behind closed doors, him and his government are still going to beg others for help. They're just going to make sure that you don't really know.
Democrats and liberals now whining about the prices of everything. Inflation's down. Eggs are down. Gas is down. The stock market's going back up. The tariffs are working. Peace is on the way. I guess you guys are going to have to find something else to
look it up and see if it's true. So here was the national average price of eggs when Donald Trump took office. It was $6.59. And here we are at the current average price for eggs, $5.17. I don't claim to be an expert at math, but I am pretty sure that $5.18 is less than $6.60.
Not only is he not an expert in math, he's not an expert in looking shit up. He kept claiming in his comments that he got the information from the Federal Reserve. This is not the Federal Reserve website. This is tradingeconomics.com. And this is not the price of eggs. This is the price of a CFD, or a contract for difference, on the commodities futures markets. And it's not even tracking retail prices for a dozen eggs like most people buy. It's tracking wholesale prices for 30 dozen cases of caged shell eggs. Caged shell eggs aren't even allowed to be sold in 10 of the United States. You know how else he could have figured out that that's not the price of eggs? Because I think we can all agree that in May of 2023, a dozen eggs didn't cost 77 cents across the country. The Fed does have prices for a dozen eggs, cage-free, free-range, traditional, organic, non-organic, all the different types sold across the country. And they're reporting that the prices are up. This is the latest information released today, March 12th. The March numbers will be out April 12th. Honestly, this dude is so loud and so wrong every time, and he can't even do the most basic of research.
Okay, Magus. I got some good news for you, okay? I got some good news for you. You know, the diaper, y'all Lord and Savior, he working on y'all eggs. Okay, he working on your egg prices. Just know, as we speak or have spoke, because this didn't already occurred. Okay, maybe today, yesterday, couple days ago. Hell, I'm not finna track all that shit, right, Max? You know what I mean? I'm just finna bring you the facts. I'm just finna bring it out there. But your egg prices, be expecting them to be coming down, because, you know, you dealing with the great one, okay? The king, okay? The smart of all smartness, all right? The great and powerful Oz, the Wiz. That's right. And the Wiz then came up with a surefire plan. He told you. Now he kind of fucked up, saying, you know, as soon as he got in the office, you know, great shit takes time. But I got the receipts, maggots. So don't you even worry about it, because you know I'm for the people, all peoples. So even if you floating over there on the other side, maggots, I'm still gonna get facts for you as well. Okay? So just know that you heard it from me, that your egg prices, hey, he working on some shit. Okay? Watch this shit.
Okay, so you really can't make this stuff up. After threatening all these world leaders, Donald Trump is now begging them to send the United States eggs to try to bail them out as prices continue to skyrocket. Check out this article in Reuters. How many eggs can you send? U.S. asks countries to help lower soaring prices. The United States has reached out to Denmark and other European nations asking if they could export eggs as Americans face surging egg prices, the Nordic Countries Egg Association said on Friday. The request from the U.S. Department of Agriculture coincides with a raft of new U.S. tariffs on countries, including in Europe, and the threat of more. Donald Trump has also threatened economic sanctions unless Denmark hands over control of Greenland to the United States. So on the one hand, Donald Trump is threatening Denmark that he's going to annex Greenland. On the other hand, he is begging them to send him eggs. So pathetic. Here's some more, quote, "We're still waiting to get more guidance from Washington on next steps, but do you have an estimate of the number of eggs that could be supplied to the United States, assuming they meet all the import requirements?" A follow-up letter to the Danish Egg Association in early March said, quote, "Washington is trying to get an estimate of the amount they could feasibly source," said the letter received last week. The Danish Egg Association said they would look into it, but that there is no surplus of eggs in Europe. Quote, "There's a shortage of eggs everywhere on a global scale because consumption is increasing and many are affected by bird flu," he added. The spokesperson said they had requested more details on the conditions of such an agreement, highlighting that egg exports to the U.S. were challenging due to regulations related to hygiene and other factors. Okay, so now you need the rest of the world for stuff.
So
Yeah.
guys, after all these videos, I'm not even sure if I'm convinced or confused, because at the end of the day, we can only get the truth from y'all that live there. Okay, so because now they're saying Trump wants to import eggs from European countries and all of that. What exactly is going on, United States? I mean, import eggs? Really? Okay, that's crazy. So let's know in the comment section, are egg prices really down? Our egg prices, let's know, because we can only hear the truth from you guys. Let's know in the comment section. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Ciao.